So to start with the shir this morning on the Rashash, we're going to look in the Rav and read real quickly here some of the ideas that he's laying out, and then we'll see it in the Rashash. He says, and then after that, now you're going to. So we just in the Rav had discussed the tefillin shal of the hand tefillin. Now we're talking about the tefillin of the Rosh. The kavet ba'ofen acher, you have a difficult one. The kavet b'sod iva rishon. First, you have the concept of gestation, which is really the very beginning of the formation of what's going to be born out. So, in that particular kavanot, you're going to put the akia b'milu yudin v'acher kach the kavet b'sod the yanika shuhu halvaya. So then we're going to bring in the four mochin. But the kavin l'mamish adaticho. So now have this in mind, he says. B'drash atzitzis ki kol echad ma'arba mochin kalo ma'arba, because each one of the four mochin has four mochin within it. This which makes 16. V'lechein tekavin al arba shemus Yaakov b'maluim. That's what you should do. You have in mind, therefore, the mochin themselves are going to be Yaakov's, b'meluin, and then they're going to be the milui of the name Av, Sag, Ma, Uben. So these are extensions of the name Havai, the name of 72, 63, 45, and 52. For whom Muach HaChochma, this is the Muach HaChochma. It has four different parts to it, which is an asmab. Then after that, you come back and think about the four names Aki, Min Shem Akia. So the first two should be with the milui of Yudin, and the third one of Alafim, and the fourth one with Hayan. So the idea is, and we'll see this in the Rashash, the idea is to bring them all together. He says, L'shalev v'lechaber Yaakov Arishon. So you take the first Yaakov, im Aki Arishon, v'chein al derig zecha v'arba Yaakovs im arba Aki. So that you're going to put them all together in a shillav. It's going to be one name. Now this concept of bringing these together is the concept of the condensation and the more making physical the tefillin. So the four names Aki that we're talking about, Hein b'gematria tefillin. If you take just Aki and a milui, you comes out to the gematria tefillin. So this is the bracha, this is the kavanah for the bracha, is to bring these names Aki and Yaakov, bring them together in a shillav in four different ways. Al arba Aki elu, so you're going to bring them all together. Also, there's another way to look at this, and he's throwing this out in another place. Maybe we'll see this. Al Shem Pasat Mem. This is a combination of some of the 22 letters. Exactly what it does is it comes to a gematria that we like. V'hu Shem Shel Kaf Beis Noida. V'hu Gam came begematria Tefillin. So he says Amnam Shmona Shemus Acherim. So these are talking about the Tefillin that have within it the mochin of Abba Ve'ima or Chochma Bina. But there are four other names. Sheyesh ba'arba mochin the Chesed, v'arba the Gevura. So what about them? Because we said that each one of the mochin, which is Chochma Bina, Chesed the Das, and Gevura the Das, we said that all of them are implied over here, but we're really doubtful about whether or not you should have the kavanah. He said, if you did be more result, so it seems to me, according to the mind impoverished thinking, you only really have to have a kavanah for the first two, and we'll see that now in the Rashash. But we come to the Chesadim and the Gevuras, Heim Kolulim Bechem, they are incorporated in them. Al Derek Masha Kasav Dechagiyotz, what we read that's similar to this, and we see over in the Kriya Shema B'milas Echad, Ein Sham. So over there, apparently, they don't show all four of all eight, the other final eight, that's it. So let's stop there. Come over to the Rashash itself and review the Rashash, what it said before. he says, v'kodem anachas tefillin. So anacha yistakel al zainim hakasuvim bebeis hashinim shebetzidei tefillin shal rosh. So on the side of the tefillin you have two shins, one of four legs. Let's say he's calling them zainim, one of four zainim, and then on the other side you have a tefillin that of three zainim. So he says that's the first thing you should do is look at that. That's the first thing to do. Now, exactly what that affects, but he says that's the instruction. He says, Achar kach yinich tefillin shal rosh, then you put on tefillin shal rosh. The Kavanot hachzer of Rishim shal mochin the zer anpen, so then you should have this Kavanot to return the mochin shal zer anpen shal locha b'lay locha l'mala b'reisha the zer anpen that will go up at nighttime under the head of zer anpen. Now you should have a concept of that Rishimo that left Zer Anpen at nighttime and is on the top of his head and is a makif on top of his head. You're going to bring it in. He said, and here's another fact, that at this point, with the mochin coming into Zer Anpen, there is also the extension of the long hairs of the head of Eric Anpen, which is pure chesed, pure whiteness, pure goodness, is going into Zer Anpen. So he said this is striking the back of the head. Hamakmake ba'achre orif, the Zer Anpen strikes the back of the neck. V'nikdas b'pinimius hamochim. What happens is that it becomes now a tremendous amount of light inside of the head of Zer Anpen. The nivkach yisod the ima, and it breaks out of the yisod of ima, which is inside of the head of Zer Anpen, the base, and into two parts. The misgala v'yotza ha'aras dalad mochim, and as a result of the split, some of the mochim come out. Heim dalad the bushim of bokim. So let me read it again. V'yotza ha'aras dalad mochim im dalad the bushim. So we say that the four mochim are coming in now with their four levushim, ubokim metzach the Zer Anpen, and they break out of the forehead of Zer Anpen. V'yotzem ha'rasa the chutz besod tefillin b'chutz the metzach the Zer Anpen, and they become now the illumination that comes out of them solidifies. L'chutz besod tefillin b'chutz the metzach the Zer Anpen. Now he says Yekaven ki hakaf aleph chaskaro. So in the parshios themselves, inside of the tefillin, 21 different names of Hashem. Keneged Shem Akia, which is a gematria 21, which is now we're thinking about. This is the beginning of the gestation. Now we're beginning to physicalize these. Keneged the makif the lamed, which is the makif which was over the head of Zer Anpen. I'm assuming that he's referring to the that he's returning to the Rishimo that was left over from yesterday's mochin, from yesterday, and it's a makif. It's on top of the head of Zer Anpen. It's the bechina dalad shebamochin. So he said the dalad parsha. So that's one thing. For dalad parshas keneged b'mochin the yasiya. Now that's first you have the 21 mentions, which is very light, very just 21 names of Hashem. But then after that, they form themselves into parshas. This is the concept of Yanika. Now you actually have the substance of the tefillin. But Dalit parshas keneged b'mochin Yanika, Dalit shemos Yaakov. So here you take the name Yaakov. Shehem hamochim im Dalit shemos Aki. Shehem halevushim. So now he explains it out. What's the Yaakov? What's the Aki? One is a levush. That's the Aki, and the Yaakov is the benemius. So he says Shehem halevushim shal moach im levusha. So this is the mochin with its levush. V'keneged b'bechina hey. So corresponding to this is also the fifth condition of the mochin. Shehi bechinas mochin aniknaza b'sok reisha de Zer Anpen, and now you have this is the mochin that are actually coming into Zer Anpen on these parshas. V'chadalad batim. Now the last part is going to be the four batim. They're keneged Shem Akia. Ukeneged mochin the gadlos. Ukeneged bebechina vav shebemochin v'yotzin b'chutz the metzach the Zer Anpen. So now we're going to see over here. This is the part that comes out. He said we have once again the machlokas between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, and it manifests in the first part, which is gestation or ivor, it's just a milui of the name Akia with a milui of Yudin. So they agree, Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. The next stage is the Bechina, this is called Bechina Hey. This is the fifth Bechina, he says. Yanika, which means that nursing, the child is born, so to speak, and now you actually have something, which are these four parshas. Adar the parshas, and this is how they look according to Rashi. I guess it would be like this, and we'll see in a second. And the Bechina Hey is Yanika, this is Daled parshas. So we have this, it's according to Rabbeinu Tam. So what's the difference between Rashi and Rebbe Batan is Rashi always takes, let's look at the bold print, Yud K Vav. Those are the first three letters of that Havaya. And then on the other side, we have this Yud K Vav. So he has a different order when it comes to the actual, these two Ks are out of place, or at least they're in a different place than in a regular Havaya. And so then he shows you the first one is immediately the Yud K Vav. And I guess we're going to stop here and we're going to pick it up on the next side of this shir. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolo.